This is Wretched Radio with Todd Friel.
Besides needing a haircut, is it possible you need a change of clothes? This is Wretched Radio. Anybody else have a new sense of appreciation for barbers? Anybody but me? I know that I sure could use a scalpel put to this noggin. Yikes!
Scalpel? Are you looking to shave?
Yeah, pretty much. The
Or
whole
perform
thing.
surgery?
Right down, right. Do you go to a barber shop, Joey? I mean a barber shop. Or do you go to one of those frou-frou-y kind of places?
I go to Fantastic Sam's because they're close and they're cheap. I used to go to the place that called itself a barber shop, but just looked like it, but actually was just full of stylists.
I go to a barber shop, and these guys who cut hair are amazing. They with the razor thing. I call it a scalpel razor. I don't want to get all technical with the barber tools here, but they use that thing, man, and they slice it. And I would cut my head off with that stuff, and they just wield that bad boy like it's a butter knife. Unbelievable. Can't wait to go back because I look like I should be in the Monkees right now.
I look like my most embarrassing 90s moments. I just need the part down the middle and shave up underneath, and I'm back in the
feeling a
grunge
little
era.
more like 1978, 79 right about now. I'm looking for some of those checkered bell bottoms to match my haircut. Lack of, actually. Is it possible you need a haircut and a new change of clothes? Paul Tripp, Oofda. A book that demands we consider our relationships with people before we go about the business of changing and fixing them. This perhaps applies most to your children. Maybe it applies to a loved one, a relationship, or not. How do we help people love Jesus more? Not get better. That's not the goal. You don't want to fix people. That's the wrong goal. We want people to love Jesus more. Colossians 3:12 through 17. Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience. Does that define you? Does that describe you? That you are compassionate, kind, humble, gentle, patient? Or are you more like, well, sadly me, in that, just give me the problem. I'm going to give you the solution. Paul Tripp saying it's time for a change. From his book, Instruments in the Redeemer's Hands, an encouragement to get in there. So here's an example for your consideration. You receive, note, a word, a phone call, that somebody that you know has been abandoned by their spouse. They received a note from their husband. I'm leaving you. I'm out of here. What would you say? Seriously, think it through for just a moment. We might, because it's such an extreme emotional break, we might go, oh no, I am so sorry. Why did he leave? Has this been going on for a long time? Did he have an affair? We start to try to figure things out so that we can say, what you need to do is this, then he's going to come back home. Maybe because we want to be clothed with compassion and humility and gentleness and patience and be incarnational and enter into their world. These would be some better questions for your consideration. These are questions I would never think of, ever think of. And this is going to just slay me because I actually just received an email from a woman who's been married for a number of years, whose husband professes to be a believer, and who informed her, I want a divorce. Bang. And you want to know what my questions were? Do you belong to a good local church? Okay, right question. In other words, can you get your pastor and elders involved in this situation to help you and walk alongside you? And I missed any opportunity to be like Jesus in this situation. I think I offered oh no, that's terrible. I'm really sorry for that. Do you belong to a good church? Boom, I go into fix-it mode. How's about this? What came to your mind when he told you this? What are you struggling with most right now? What are you facing now that you thought you would never face? What are you feeling? What are you afraid of right now without any agenda to fix? You're just demonstrating I care. I'll only speak for myself, but I suspect I'm not alone in this. We're so often like people who see an accident. Somebody gets hit on their bicycle, and we go running up. Did you look both ways before you crossed? Were you wearing your helmet? Did you have your helmet buckled up? Did you wait for the light? Did you have a go sign? Why didn't you walk your bike across the straight here? You'd go, what is the matter with you? They just got hit by a car. And the same question applies. What's the matter with me? I was just told that a woman's life was absolutely devastated by a husband who professes to be a follower of Jesus Christ, saying, I'm not going to act like Jesus. I'm going to act the very opposite. I am not going to be faithful to you till death do us part. I'm going to act like the devil, and I'm going to divorce you. Do you belong to a good church? Describe how you see God right now. Whoa, that's different. Describe how you see God right now. Your husband just told you he's walking out the door. Tell me what you're thinking about God right now. And these are not diagnostic questions as if you're the physician in an office. And does it hurt when you raise your elbow that way? So tell me, can you pick things up that are heavy? Those have its place, and you can actually be gleaning knowledge out of these questions, but these are not diagnostic questions for the sake of fixing it. Do you ask questions like this? Your teenager comes home, they didn't get on the team. Well, I guess you'll have to try. You know what? I told you. Can't be staying up late playing those video games. Tired. You're never going to get on the team if you keep doing those things. Time to grow up, son. Okay. Good advice. Maybe not exactly what fosters a relationship. I wonder if that's a big part of the reason that we have such a disconnect between teen and parent. We're just in fix-it mode, not in love mode. Do you feel like God is asking you to do the impossible? Do you feel hopeless? What questions do you wish you could ask your husband right now? What questions do you wish you could ask God? Do you see what he's doing here? He's doing questions that are incarnational. If you remember, enter into the person's world, incarnate the love of Christ, identify with suffering, accept, hear them with an agenda. Yes, we do want to fix, but that's not on the front burner. When you can't sleep, what thoughts keep you awake? That is an outstanding question. Isn't that a good one for all of us? Yeah, ask yourself that question right now. If you ever wake up with fits in the middle of the night or you can't sleep, you toss and tumble, you wake up way too early because something is on your mind, what is it? Finances? That's instructive, isn't it? It's going to tell you what maybe is consuming too much of your care. Maybe it's revealing that it's too much of an idol. Maybe it reveals that you're not trusting in the Lord enough. Look at what a diagnostic question that would be to ask ourselves. When you can't sleep, what thoughts keep you awake? What about asking somebody who's going through a hard time? What part of the situation is getting to you the most? What is that doing? It's showing care, it's being thoughtful, and it's also helping you to understand what's going on in their heart so that at the right time, in due season, you can give them the correct theology bomb that's going to help them. What regrets do you struggle with? What do you look back and think, if only I had? Are you blaming yourself for this? If so, how come? What do you think you should have done differently that you look back and go, I could just kick myself for that? Why? Those are all incarnational questions. And they are questions that are really helpful, especially if you're going to be counseling somebody on a long-term basis. It's protection for you, because if you're dealing with somebody with anger issues, for instance, and all you do is try to fix their fury, and they don't think that you care about them, you can count on it. That anger is going to get aimed at you. People pick up what you're laying down. You are offering a living example when you enter in. It gives evidence of what the Lord can do. It gives evidence of what the Lord is like. It keeps Jesus central. The most important encounter in ministry is not the person's encounter with us, but his encounter with Christ. Our job is to simply set up that encounter so that God would help people seek his forgiveness, comfort, restoration, strength, and wisdom. As an ambassador not only delivers the message of the king, he incarnates it as well. He stands in the king's place, who does not merely bark out orders and offer ways to fix a problem. He is a sympathetic king who enters into our world because he actually genuinely cares. Isn't that why we cast our cares on him? Because he cares for us. And if we are going to do good ministry and actually help people, we need to care for people by demonstrating love, by being incarnational, and then adding theology as is appropriate to help them to love Jesus more, not just be fixed. This is Wretched Radio.
Wretched. We're hip. We're technologically savvy. Would you please join us in liking, subscribing, or sharing this video?